What's going on? Welcome back. In today's video, we're going to do ICE. ICE is a Windows machine from TryHackMe. It is not a part of the offensive security pathway. It is a standalone vulnerable machine revolving around Windows exploitation and privilege escalation. And of course, we're going to conduct post-exploitation and how to demonstrate the process of looting the passwords and other sensitive info. Okay. So let me get started here with a simple nmap scan. As you can see, we have a couple of open ports. We have the SMB, and it's clearly saying Microsoft. So we are in front of Windows system. Here we have RDP open, and also here we have another port. We have 8000 HTTP, and on the HTTP running Icecast streaming media server. The exploitation part of this machine will be on this Icecast streaming media server. And I have a couple of open ports here, as you can see. So since we have many open ports, let's go ahead and launch nmap scripting engine and decide to use the category of vulnerabilities. So here we would use -- script equal vulnerable. To make the scan running faster, let me remove the -a. And in here we will specify, I think it's without the equal sign. Yes. So while the scan is running, let's head over to the Icecast media server and see what is running in there. Ten 57 175. The source you request couldn't be found. Let's see the nmap scan. So nothing on 8000. We have another one, as you can see, on HTTP. Let's try this 5357. There is nothing much to do here, actually. Let's get back. See, what do we have? All right, so let's first start with the SMB. SMB client -l. No password provided. So we have no shares on the server. As you can see, no shares. Let's get back. So we are done with these, right? Nothing in there. We can try any for Linux, by the way. Enum for Linux -a 10 10 57 175. Let's see here. So target details. Let's go down. Nothing in here. As you can see, there are no shares, which corroborates the results we have got from the SMB client tool. So nothing to find from here. There is nothing much to do with the HTTP and the SMB, which makes us narrow down the efforts on enumerating the Icecast, which is here, right? So nothing in here, nothing much to do here. Yeah, we have RDP open, but we don't have a predetermined set of credentials, so we're gonna narrow our efforts to this one. But let's wait for the nmap scan to see if we have anything revealed from the vulnerability scan. So after the scripting scan has finished, as you can see here, The Icecast is telling me the server is vulnerable or likely vulnerable. Now it's saying slow load dose attack, and we have this CVE here. Okay, and this is the disclosure date. And here are some details about other stuff it has found, like couldn't find any stored XSS. And here, HTTP CVE 2014-3704 execution failed on that CVE. So we can see here the Icecast meta server is vulnerable, but actually, let's read through this. Slow Loris tries to keep many connections to the target web server open and hold them open as long as possible. It accomplishes this by opening, actually this is the DDoS attack. We are not interested in overflowing the Icecast server with a float of packets. We are interested in getting remote code execution. So what we're trying to do here, we're gonna go to here and say Icecast exploit. Let's find out about the version here. Where is the version? We need the version. So it is not very clear from here what is the version the Icecast is running on. As you can see, I can't find any version number. Let's see what TryHackMe has to say. Now that we have identified some interesting services running on our target machine, let's do a little bit of research into one of the weirder services identified, Icecast, or well, at least this version running on our target is heavily flawed and has a high level vulnerability with a score of 7.5. What type of vulnerability is it? Use CVE details for this question and next. So it's suggesting to use CVE details, but actually we need the version. How can I determine the right exploit if I don't have the version number? So Icecast, maybe it's the context. So two vulnerabilities. Those execution codes overflow. This seems interesting, but it doesn't. I don't think it's the one. Let's see this. This is also dose attack. Let me click on this one. So this one is denial of service, execute code overflow. What is the CVE number for this one? Let's try this one. I don't think it's the one, but I want to just rule it out. No, yeah, I know this. It's not the one. We're not supposed to do those on this target. Let's get back and type Icecast media. Oh, it's still conducting Google research. So this is not the CVE actually, the right CVE for these channels, but we can do code execution by this denial of service, but we're not in the position of doing denial of service now. So a bit now mystified about what to do here. Let's see the hint. The CVE was disclosed in 2004. In the case that you get stuck on this question, a link to the manual version of the exploit associated with the service can be found in the final task. This link has some additional details about the CVE we are exploring here. It is recommended for the completion of this question. Hint here. This type of vulnerability allows for an attacker to execute arbitrary code in an unauthenticated fashion. The name can be found listed it at the vulnerability type on CVE. Oh, well, we couldn't find it. There's nothing here. I have only two, and none of them starts with 2004. Or I am typing the product wrong. CVE 2004 Icecast. Let's see this CVE 2004 Icecast. Buffer overflow. Oh, this is the one, I guess. This is the one, yes. So I used the hint from the walkthrough, just type CVE 2004 Icecast, and I found one. But it's pretty weird why I couldn't find this in the list of the vulnerabilities pertaining to this product. Okay, so here we have this one. Let's try to answer with this one and make sure how we're going to proceed. So this is the one. Okay, that's the exploit we're going to use, or the vulnerability for which we're going to find an exploit. So basically here, this is the CVSS score, the confidentiality impact, what is the type vulnerability, execute code overflow. It's actually technically buffer overflow to conduct remote code execution on the target. And it is kinda, let's go down. It affects version 2.0 and version 2.01. So most likely the version of the Icecast running on the remote host, on the remote target, is one of them. Other details we need to take care of? Nope. So buffer overflow on Icecast 2.01 and earlier allows remote attackers to execute arbitrary code via an HTTP request with a large number of headers. And it is Metasploit compatible. Okay, so it's pretty much now clear what to do next. So next we're gonna clear here and say MSF cancel type, looking for an exploit, name Icecast. So we have one. Show options. Set lhost. Oh my. Set lport 4545. Set our hosts and 10. And exploit. Get UID. So we are dark. Okay, so what to do next? Next, we're going to do privileged escalation. Okay, now the privileged escalation of this machine will be conducted through Metasploit. Okay, so, and basically we got a Metapreter session here. So what we're going to do now, we're going to type background, and we're going to say use or run posts multi reckon local exploit suggester. So show options, set session 1, and say run. So that's the first one, exploit Windows local bypass user access control event VWR target appears to be vulnerable. And this is a reliable exploit to try with, by the way. Let's see the other ones. MC9. Okay, so actually, oh my God. Also, client copy image is potential candidate. We can use that, by the way. So let's try with this one. Okay, exploit Windows. Let's use this one. So say use show options set L host set L port, different port, right? 4546. Set session 1 and run or exploit. So we have two sessions now. Hopefully, the new session here is the one that has granted us the privilege escalation. So get UID. Again, we are dark. Let's see who am I. Oh, drop to shell or get privilege. Get prefs, I guess. So pretty much we have so much here, right? So many privileges. And among the privileges is say take ownership privilege, which means that we can, if it is not showing that we are system here, we can just take ownership of any process that is running as system, right? So actually, technically, we have done the privilege escalation now, but the user has not changed here. So given the privilege here, what we're going to do, we're going to list the processes running and see one that is running as system. So there are many actually, right? As you can see. This one is system, this one, this one, this one. So let's take ownership of one of these processes. Personally, I would go with this one, right? Or this one, right? I would try with this migrating the session to one of these processes. Or we can try with this one. So let's try with this process. TP ID is 700. So I would say here migrate 700. Let's see if this is going to work. Now get UID, and we are net authority system. That's how you do that. So basically, the privilege escalation has succeeded for one reason is that this privilege is enabled on the current user after we have exploited the vulnerability of Windows bypass user access control. Okay, so what is next to do, guys? We're going to conduct some looting or harvesting of sensitive details. So for that reason, we're going to load Kiwi, which is the updated version of Mimikatz. Now Mimikatz is running, of course, type help to get the list of the commands. As you can see here, every command and it is description. So crits all, retrieve all credentials. So type crits all As you can see, we have NTLM hashes for the user dark, and we have also the password for this user. As you can see, what else we can do? We can conduct golden ticket, by the way, to impersonate any user on the system. What else? Yeah, so let's see here, golden ticket. So here, what we need to provide with this. -k, domain user NTLM hash. Okay, so we need to give it some arguments. What is the user we want to impersonate? And we take it from there. Let's go to TryHackMe and see what we need to do after that. So here, what's the question? What type of vulnerability is it? Let's get back. So here from the vulnerability type, we can take this, execute code overflow, right? After Metasploit has started, let's search for our target exploit. Using the command search Icecast, what's the full path for the exploitation module? Well, we need to get back to the console here. Yes, this one. This is the full path. Following selecting our module, we now have to check what options we have to set. Run the command show options. What is the only required setting, which is currently blank? It was our hosts. Okay, gaining access is done. No? Okay, this one. Now escalate. We have gained a foothold on our victim machine. What's the name of the shell we have now? Interpreter. What user was running that Icecast process? The commands used in this question and the next few are taken directly from the RP Metasploit. So it was LSAS, something like that. No? What was running that? Let's get back and type PS. So the question here is saying what user was running. The user is dark PC or dark. So what build of Windows is the system? So let's run sys info, and the build is 7601. Now that we know some of the finer details of the system we are working with, let's start escalating our privileges. First, what is the architecture of the process we are running? So basically, architecture is x64. Running the local exploit suggester will return quite a few results for potential escalation exploits. What is the full path for the first returned exploit? Let's get back. It was the one we used. So this is the exploit, the full path. Complete. Now that we have set our session number, further options will be revealed in the options menu. We'll have to set one more as our listener IP is incorrect. What is the name of this option? lhost. It is self-explanatory, right? We can now verify that we have expanded permissions using the command getprevs. What permission listed allows us to take ownership of files? If you remember, it was the permission that we use to migrate to a process that is owned by the system. Looting. Mentioned with this question is the term living in process. Often when we take over a running program, we ultimately load another shared library into the program, which includes our malicious code. From this, we can spawn a new thread that hosts our shell. Huh. Printers will spool documents. Ah, I think it is this. The answer is this process. The walkthrough, right? The walkthrough assumes that you will migrate to this process, right? That's how you get the system. But we use this one. It doesn't matter. It's the concept, right? But the answer to this question is this. Migrate to this process, right? Let's check what user we are now with the command get UID. What user is listed? Net authority system. Which command allows up to retrieve all credentials? Well, it was creds all, right? Something like that. Let's go down. Huh. Run this command. What is dark's password? The dark's password is this. Okay, post exploitation now. What command allows us to dump all of the password hashes stored on the system? We want to crack the administrative password, in this case, as it is pretty strong. Okay, dump the hashes. Well, this is very easy. Let's try this command. Hash dump. Okay, I guess it's the answer. While more useful when interacting with a machine being used, what command allows us to watch the remote user's desktop in real time? Yeah, it's a screen share. So if we type a screen share here, it should spawn the user's desktop, right? As you can see, this is what the target host desktop looks like right now, like a screenshot. Okay. How about if we wanted to record from a microphone attached to the system, the microphone command? So I guess it is. Oh, okay, no problem. Record mic. Okay, to complicate forensics efforts, we can modify timestamps of files on the system. What command allows us to do this? Yeah, it's timestamp. Now for the golden ticket, we have actually done this a while ago. Extra credit. Explore manual exploitation via exploit code found in. This is the manual way. So this is a C file. This is the shell code. Okay. Technically, we would generate, as you can see here, we would change this. Let's go down. I want to make sure that what I'm saying is correct. Let's go and understand this a bit. Because all of the forbidden bytes need to be request. Okay. So as you can see, you run the exploit, right? And you specify the target IP. It scans and verifies that the host is vulnerable. And if it is, it's going to say server is vulnerable. Now here you would connect to the server on this port. Okay. Let's go down. So you would provide the IP address in the command line as an argument to the exploit. Let's go down. The port is correct, 8000. This netcut spawns a shell on port 999. So basically, this is a shell code, right? That when the exploit is executed against the target, it will spawns netcut on this port, right? So you will have to run this. Let me try it. Why I'm explaining without, implementing. So let's download this. And let's conduct manual exploitation. So what do we have here? Sessions-i. Okay, we have one. Split on the left. CD back, CD downloads. So this is the exploit file I would suggest. Now let's compile it. Oh, come on, no. RB. So if there's a Python code for that, it's going to be very easy. Look, there is Python code here. Let's download this one. Say sudo python ice.ui. Let's go through this. Maybe there is something else to change on here. So here we have to provide the IP and the ports. Pretty much different from the exe counterpart. So here replace with your own shellcode here. Okay. All right. All right. So save this for now and regenerate shellcode. Dash AX86 dash platform Windows dash P Windows. Okay, shell reverse CP. Ports 4547. Let me copy that. Okay. Now copy this and downloads Icecast. I will do it with key to the right. Okay. Save. Now, let's launch the listener here. Clear lc-fpp 454 4547. And here on the right, we will launch the exploit. ice.py. The target is 10.10.57.157. All right, 175. The port is 8000. As you can see here, I ran the exploit and I got the reverse shell or the foothold. So now you might ask me how to do the privilege escalation the way we did with Metasploit, without the use of Metasploit, by the way. So basically, now we are dark on this, the dark user on this shell. So basically, what we would do, we would run system info, and we would grab a copy of all of that, put it in a text file, and we run Windows exploit suggester, get the list of available exploits, and we pick up this one and run it. If you don't know how to use Windows exploit suggester, I have laid this down many times throughout the videos. Let's get back to them and you will see how to do that. Okay. So that was it. Done.